Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Thursday tips and tricks. My name is Lucia Visentin, and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. Love to say hi. So as you do pop on, do say where you are from, so that we can have a little chat as well. Now my Thursdays are just generally quite short and sharp, and we will just do a little technique, and it's a technique that I don't know what made me think of it when I was doing my live on Monday night. So Monday night I made this little card here with Impressions of Bloom, and it is a little easel card. So if you would like to see that, that's on my YouTube channel. But as I was doing it, I remembered the rock and roll technique, and it's a technique that we used to use years ago. Now, I've been a demonstrator for 15 years, so like I said, this is really old, and I'll actually give you a little bit of nostalgia as we turn over for those of you that have been with Stampin' Up for that long or purchasing their products for that long. We used to receive these little they were Stampin' Technique books when you placed an order. So I'll show you that because I actually had the technique in there, which was really quite cute. So I will pop you around and we'll have a look at that. Here we go. Get rid of some of my desk. Probably don't want to be too close. Don't know, my fingers aren't working today. There we go. There we go. Good afternoon, Fiona. How are you? So this is going back a very long time. So this is 2006, 2007. So this is the very first Stampin' Up catalogue in, I don't know whether it was the South Pacific or just, it might have just been Australia actually, because I think we started in New Zealand a little bit later. So blue, my favourite colour. But I must admit, when I opened this up, this was the first thing I purchased ever. So I bought everything to make this card. And that was actually a really good way to start off a collection as well, because I knew what colours I wanted. Certainly celery and bashful blue they were back then. So they were my first two colours I had, and that's what I purchased. So what also came in the order were these little books. So like with the first one, it would have been this one here, which was that card that I made. But when we look inside these books, and this is one that's a little bit different, but here is our little rock and roll technique. So in these books, there were it was a little introduction to Stampin' Up basically. We used to have to assemble our stamps. So we actually had to cut round the red rubber and pop them onto the wood block ourselves. And then we had the old clamshells that we used to put them in. So there was a sticker that went on the side of the clamshell. They talk about the two-step stamping. And I can remember using that particular stamp for my mum's, must have been birthday invites or something. Spinning around, watercolour, heat emboss and emboss resist. There were Stampin' Pastels back then, decorating, but they were just using markers, Stampin' backgrounds, loads of stuff in here. And even as far as layouts for scrapbooking as well. So we have been a scrapbooking company for quite some time as well. It is definitely a blast from the past, Anita. Like it is just, I even remember like these stamp sets, like I said, I had all of these. But look at that, heaps of scrapbooking in here as well. So a lot of that kind of thing. But today what I wanted to concentrate on was the rock and roll. So like I said, I just wanted to give you a little blast from the past. But now we'll get on to, actually I should see how it says to do it in here. Didn't even think to look at that. So rock and roll. So they say to tap the stamp on the light coloured ink pad first, which is what we'll do, and then press the edges of the entire stamp in a rolling motion on the darker ink pad, being careful not to ink the centre of the stamp, because we just want the ink to get onto the edges of our stamp. Okay, and they do say to make sure you use your lightest colour first, which is a definite, because you don't want your dark ink getting into your lighter colours. So this is where one of the little tips I have given you. I have kept all my catalogues, Anita. How bad is that? I'm a hoarder. I'm a tidy hoarder. They've got a home. So when you get your ink pads, you have all of these colours at the back. I always put one on the ends of mine first, but I do take this spare one and I do just pop it down the side. And you'll see, oh, that's really crooked. You'll see in a moment why I do this, but I don't want it that crooked. Let's go again, that's better. And I'll go I keep on going to say chocolate chip. Oh my goodness, I don't know where that is coming from. That was a colour that was like a lifetime ago. And again, we'll put our early espresso down the side as well. Now these ones, it's probably not quite so, oh, they still are quite dark. So when you open them, see how the ink pads nearly look exactly the same? So when you've got that colour on the side, it just makes it easier so you know what you are actually stamping onto. Now I did change a whole heap of my ink pads earlier, and so they are quite juicy. So I hope, I have with a plastic spoon scooched all the ink to one end, but that was this morning, so hopefully it's still the same. So what I am going to do, absolutely, things always come in handy, don't they, John? So I'm going to ink up, and I'm using my toadstools, which are carrying over as well, so the terrific toadstools. And I'm inking it up in crumb cake first, and then when I come over to my early espresso, I am just going to just do the edge. So I'm just doing that bottom edge. I am just going to give it a little light spritz as well, and you can see when we had wooden blocks, this was a horrible technique because we used to get our wooden blocks all quite mucky. And if you were someone like me, then you used to sand your blocks as well. So here we go. See how it just gives you that darker edge at the bottom? So that's with a natural colour. It did look quite nice in the reds as well, because reds are another colour for toadstools. So I did have Poppy Parade and Real Red as well, just to give you an idea. So we'll go in first with the lighter, so always go with your lighter first, and then I'm just, I don't know, I've got my thing tilted heaps, so I'm just getting the bottom. I don't know how well you can see that. So again, we'll just stamp that down. This one's a little bit harder to see, but you've just got that darker bit just at the bottom. Hello Patty, how are you? So I'm just showing the rock and roll technique. So I thought for the mushroom it would be good, but I'll show you exactly how they intended it when they were first talking about it in our catalogue, or in our little book. Sorry, I just bumped you. So I will just get out now my little Be My Valentine. So this is our little bee set. And I always do this back to front. I always do my darker first up. So I'm just going to stamp his stripes first. So we'll do that first. Like I said, Anita, it is a really, really old technique. I haven't seen anyone use it for an awfully long time now. But I just wanted to show you a few different ways that you can use it. So this one here is the body of our bee. So I'm going to go into the lemon lolly first. And it just gives it a little bit of dimension because you're just getting that darker. And this one I'm just going to go all the way around. We'll have to stand up to get this straight, I think. And you can see with this one, you've just got that little bit of shadowing around the outside because you're using that darker colour. And again, if you spritzed it with your spritzer, it would blend it in a little bit more as well. But the other way that this technique works beautifully, sorry, I'm just going to get my Stampin' Scrub because I do have yellow ink all over my block. So it is a little messy, so just beware that you will get ink everywhere. So now that we have our acrylic blocks, this technique actually works really well. It shows up on the lighter colour better, that's, yeah. And that I probably wouldn't have used now that I look at that. Still going to call it chocolate. The early espresso is probably a little bit dark. If we had used the pecan pie, perhaps, would have been a nicer finish on that one. But let me show you something else. So the other one I was looking at was the elements of text. So that is an online exclusive. And we don't need our using that anymore. But I will bring in a couple of colours. So again, just get two colours that actually blend in well together. Now, the main reason why I'm doing that is because when I'm putting my peach pie in my Calypso Coral, I know it's not dirtying my ink pad too much, because that is the one thing you are going to get ink transfer from one to the other. So if you were going a blue and a yellow, you know you're going to get heaps of yellow in your blue. So I would probably steer clear from that a little bit. But if you're going colours that are similar, I think you are fine. So again, we'll go the lighter one first. So this is Peach Pie, and I'm just using one of the text ones. And then I'm actually just going to close this up, otherwise I'll end up with it everywhere. So when I get to this one, I'm just going to do all of my edges. So I am just popping the edges in that, okay? So I am just rolling my ink, my stamp around on my ink pad. Can you see how you get the beautiful peach on the inside and then you've just got that darker around the outside? Thank you, Delaney. We are definitely enjoying school holidays. We're actually off for a little break tomorrow, so I won't be around on Monday for Mystery Monday, unfortunately, because we will be away, which will be nice. Oh, and if anyone else remembers our saga of the craft room, we've actually had the plumber round. And so our issue has been fixed and we have a plasterer coming around next week. So I'm a little bit excited because hopefully my craft room is not too far away. So I'm not going to hold my breath, but it's looking pretty good at the moment. So again, I'm going to do two other colours. I've got Pool Party. So So again, the whole stamp on that, and then once I get to my Lost Lagoon, I'm just doing the edges. So just tilting. So you are like, look, I'm getting ink all over that, like it is really messy. But as long as you clean up your stamp afterwards, you're going to be fine. And again, you just got that nice, like I said, you're just getting it so that you've got that darker all the way around. Now, back to normal will be fantastic. I cannot wait. I've even been buying new storage things for the craft room. I made John come out to IKEA with me the other day. So, Delaney, that's what we've been spending our holidays doing, is searching for things for my craft room, which has been, for me, has been fun. John, probably not so much. I don't know. Like I said, and the reason why I've got my Stampin' Scrub out as well is because my Stampin' Scrub, when I'm getting ink everywhere, I do feel the Stampin' Scrub does clean your stamps and blocks so much better than the Simply Chamois. So if you want a nice deep clean, the Stampin' Scrub is definitely the way to go. So they were my little samples for my little rock and roll technique. So I know when they did their sample in the little book, they had just used a round stamp, I'm pretty sure. So they've just done this little card here, and they've just done it, again, it just looks like 2 shades of yellow. Probably exactly what I've done down here too. So, like I said, just something, it's not different at all. It is really old, but something that we've not used on any of my lives before. So I just thought it'd probably be something good to show you for those who haven't been around too long, Stampin' Up wise. It probably is something new, which would be good. So this is what I've been up to this week. I am getting everything ready for my to send out my catalogue. So I've been doing little in colour bookmarks, and I've just started sorting out a few little cards. So this is my production line here. So we're getting to that, and once I've got them all done, then I'll be able to send some catalogues off as well. So I am getting there, just slowly, that's all. But it won't be too much longer, guys, and they will be on their way to you. Good afternoon, Michelle. I've just been doing a little bit of a rock and roll technique this afternoon. Yeah, look, do you know what? Those little books were fantastic. I'm sure it cost them a fortune to print them out and send them out, because I don't think it happened for very long. It was probably only a couple of years or a few years, so that was, yeah, probably by 2010. I don't think they were doing it anymore anyway, so it really was just for a little while. But it was handy while it was there too. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. I hope you all have a lovely weekend. It looks like the weather here in Melbourne is going to be absolutely gorgeous. So do enjoy, and some of you I will see tomorrow night for our class. So looking forward to that, and crafting along with you as well on Friday. So I probably now won't see you till next Thursday. So again, thank you and have a lovely weekend. Bye.